Hi, I'm Tom Sullivan, Executive Editor with HIMSS Media, and joining me today is Matt Rund, Director of Sales for Symantec. Welcome, Matt.
Hi, how are you, Tom?
Good, glad to be here. Now, everybody knows about Symantec as a security vendor, but sort of specifically, what is Symantec doing here at the mHealth Summit?
Yeah, when we think about mHealth and the explosion in the industry, it's a very relevant topic. Symantec has a dedicated healthcare team devoted to the provider space. And so we look at this in a very broad spectrum about helping the providers solve the problems that they have, first and foremost around really enabling the doctors and the practitioners to do their jobs effectively, and then also to prevent fines and things in the space as the regulations happen. So this is the evolution of where Symantec is going.
Sure. A couple of years ago, mobile security meant device management. Since then, we've seen an explosion of bring your own devices, adoption of mobile devices. How has security evolved to keep pace with that?
Yeah, so it's no longer about the device, and as you start to think about the way that doctors are interacting with data at the system level, the management of the device has to become irrelevant, especially when you start to think about the patients, right? So the way that we view the world is that it's about users and data, and it's about enabling the doctors to do their job, right? And their jobs are different today than they've been before, in the sense of how accessing that corporate data via these mobile devices means that the IT departments need to provide those applications in a secure manner.
So building on that, what should the IT departments, the CIOs of providers be looking to vendors such as Symantec for in doing that?
Yeah, so I think there's a couple of things that when you talk to vendors in this space, you have to find the ones that are focused on the applications. That's the first step in this process, because again, if the device becomes irrelevant, and it's going to change, so the Kindle was popular 2 years ago and now it's gone, right? Or they're re-emerging, but Androids and iPhones and whatever the next thing is going to continue to evolve. So you can't focus so much on the device. You have to focus on the application and the data, which is where Symantec is really putting its money. So we're viewing this as building out mobile personas, per se. So if you're a knowledge worker, what do you need to do to build that new mobile standard image to do your job? If you're in the field and you need to access certain types of applications via the EMRs and whatever it may be, like the Epics and the Cerners and the McKessons, you need to be able to access that same information from a mobile type device.
And when you get into discussions of that, it's a natural segue into things like ACOs, accountable care organizations, health information exchange, the noun and the verb.
And that's even a bigger challenge, right? Because now necessarily the data is being shared amongst those organizations, so it doesn't only live within your sole ecosystem. So what becomes even more important is it becomes about the user. So one of the big emphases that Symantec is placed on is the user itself as well. So how do we validate who the user is into the organization, and do they have the right to access that type of data? And then tie that into, okay, now that they have the right to access the data, based on their job function, their role, whatever it may be, what data are they allowed to see via those applications?
And of course, with Meaningful Use Stage 2 now underway and the trend of patient engagement, how does that figure in as well in terms of securing?
Yeah, again, I think at that point it becomes even more important about the user, because the organization has no control over the device whatsoever. So there's no real way for the system itself to know what kind of device is accessing their corporate information. And when you start to think about telemedicine and patient portals and MyChart and all those things that exist in the world, it's only going to evolve. And when you walk around this show and you start to see the wearables and the at-home healthcare, all of that has to be accessed. So something has to be put in place so that the organization feels that they're secure enough to allow that to happen.
Sure.
And that's where a lot of this is going.
So we've obviously touched on a range of technologies here in these couple minutes. As a final question, what are you most looking forward to seeing here at the mHealth Summit?
I'm very much looking forward to seeing the new types of technologies that are emerging in the space in general, and then I'm also looking forward to interacting with the customer base to really understand their challenges as they really go into this world of mobile technology, which is truly an opportunity for them, but there's still some fear, uncertainty, and doubt on how that all works together. And so it's really learning from our customer base is probably one of the most exciting things for me while I'm here.
Indeed. I'm sure they'll be excited to learn from you as well. Live from the mHealth Summit 2013, Tom Sullivan with HIMSS Media.